Good day, good day. It's another episode of that Turf Talk show, man. World famous already. You know, episode 2 is world famous already. I'm your host, T. Smith, also known as Trey, with my co-host, man. I couldn't do it without him. The one and only Coach G and the one and only Coach Jackson. How you guys doing today?
I'm good, man. Coach Jackson. I'm ready to get it in, baby.
Coach G, how you doing?
Love, man. No grind, no shine over here, baby. Hey, you gotta wake up.
AKA the slogan master, man. Yeah, that's AKA the slogan master. Hey, with no further ado, man, we got a special guest on here today. He was inducted to the, I got my notes out, man, so I'm ready for the whole show. You know, we're going to be jumping in. Like I said, we give sports, IE, LA, anything we can highlight, we talk about. If you got any comments or anything, just leave it on the YouTube page. Let's talk it out. It's just our opinions, nothing, from the background or nothing, man. We just having fun talking sports. But I want to definitely introduce this guest right here. He was inducted to the 2014 John Muir Hall of Fame. The brother has been a DB coach for the University of Redlands. He's also worked at the University of Idaho as a defensive back coach. He's been in the community. He's a mentor. He's a leader. He's a father. We just had a small conversation. His son is, just enrolled over there at the football factory in the 9th grade. So he got his son on the right track. But with no further ado, and he's also, he's one of them head football coaches that he was head football coach of John Muir from 95 to 97, made his way around as all coaches do, because they get that experience and touch all them different neighborhoods. The one and only Coach Crutchfield. How you doing, boss?
Hey, I think I'm doing well, man. Thanks, Trey, for having me. It's good to see you guys, man. Good to be here, and I feel honored, man. And thanks for the introduction. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, the first thing I want to say, I want to throw it to you, man. Don't be humble. Tell us a little bit about your coaching experience growing up, what you've been through, as far as what made you turn into a coach and where you're now as a coach.
Okay. Yep. No, born and raised, like you said, in Pasadena, California, man. Came up as one of those at-risk youth. My father got sent away to college young in my life. And so I was, by some, I was wrote off. Worked and had some great influences in my life. My uncles, I had some great football coaches that mentored me, kept me on the right path, man. Did some really, really positive things as a player in the game of football. But I take probably more pride in what I'll be able to do as a coach and as a mentor, reaching out to kids and giving back to a game that's been very good to me. I learned a lot about life and life values through the game of football, and I try to do all I can to give back. I was up going into this year at Coach 29 straight years. I can't even name the number of kids that I've had in the Pac-12. And
now talk that talk, or I can help you out. I got it written down right here. Talk that talk.
I will say, most notably, I got 6 currently playing in the National Football League, and I should have probably added Darnay Holmes to that list as well. Darnay started training with my cousin and I were there. We used to do free clinics at Claremont High School on Fridays and Sundays, and kids all over, from over to Crespi all the way out to San Bernardino, would come out and train with us. So it's a lot of kids out there, man, that I've been fortunate enough to get my hands on. But like I said, I've been doing it for 29 straight years, from a head coach to an assistant coach. This year, I finally decided to take 1 year off, man, and watch my son play and just sit in the stands and be a dad and watch him go through it and try to help him with this journey and give him back as much as I can from a parental standpoint. Up until this child, I think the last 4 years was the only time I've been able to coach one of my kids in the game of football. So being able to give to him and kind of guide him the right way, I want to take a step back and let him hear some other voices and let him grow, let him kind of find his way. Because, and I just had a talk with him last night about it's the process. You're not going to be all pro tomorrow. You're not going to be all American tomorrow. Yeah. Don't expect to be, but don't also, by the same token, it's about the steps you take to get you there. It ain't about being the best in the state of California today. It's where you're going to finish and how you get to the finish line. That's important. So a lot of these guys, we live in this microwave society where they want instant success and they want all the offers and all that, the things that go with being the best, but not oftentimes want to put in the work and go through that process and that day-to-day grind to get there. And so that's what I'm trying to give them. I got 4 kids, in fact, over at Centennial right now that I've had the opportunity to coach, and I'm kind of sitting back, kind of watching them grow. I think it's the right program for my group of kids, and that's why we're over there today.
Okay. I want two things I want to say before we get into the show. First thing is I want people to know this man gonna be acting up in the stands if it's his first year off coaching. You know, I already know you're gonna be like, that's not the play, that's not the play, that's not how he's supposed to do it. I already know what kind of dad you about to be the first year off. Second of all, I want to give you your due diligence, man, for the brothers you touched in the NFL. Marcus Williams from the Saints, Donte Deayon and Jamal Williams out there from the IE. Shout out to the Goodeatz program. My son was a part of that 7-on-7. Thomas Graham, much love to him. I'm a big fan. And Chris Wilcox amongst a couple others. But I just want people to know the people that you got to lay your hand on as the brothers down here got to lay their hands on GB and Jackson. So, you know, it's a pleasure for me, man. I could wake up at 5 in the morning and talk football. So it's a pleasure for me to even be on here with you guys. Coach G, talk to me. You know that feeling that he's going through right there, just touching kids and taking the time off and, you know, just watching your kids grow up.
That's 100. And one thing I got to say, I like what you touched on, Coach. This is a process, you know, this new era. These people are caught up in, they want instant success. And, you know, I always say it costs to be the boss. Mm-hmm. You can't pay for it with currency. You got to pay for it with blood, sweat, and tears.
Yes.
You know, and one thing I do like about you is you are your biggest investment. You played at a high level, and look at you now. People don't even know your story. You helped me out along my way on my journey. You know, I remember sitting out there with you, and I was like, man, Coach, I'm ready for G to get offers, and you were like, man, just wait.
Yeah.
You called UCLA right there on the phone. And I was standing there, and I'll never.
Coach G. Hello. We all froze. Oh man, this is the kind of day we having. Hey, if you just tuned in, it's the Turf Talk radio show. Hey, this is that 2020-21.
Yes.
Yeah, them dudes can hunt, man. They can hunt for sure.
Back on.
Hey,
all right.
Apologize about that, man. I don't know what's going on with mine. I see y'all was having a great time.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? Coach Muir, what was we talking about?
Yeah, I was commending Gary on the job he's doing with the kids.
Oh, yeah.
And, and one thing I want to say, I'm going to give you a short story of impact that I had and why it plays into what Gary's doing. What I found out when you get out into these communities and you start talking to kids, most times they can't see the things that even plant the seeds and the fertilization around dreams and how dreams are accomplished, and getting kids out to where they can see it and understand it. My grandma, rest in peace, Laura May, told me I'd always got to believe that I was one of God's favorites, and I've always taken everything I've done in life that way. I go speak at this group called Promise Scholars, where I go speak to sixth graders all throughout Montclair and Pomona School District. And one of the stories I tell is that I remember sitting in my first grade class, and I was one of those kids I was a Ritalin baby. You know, I was one of those kids that was hyperactive and not many teachers want to deal with. So I had to go through that. And like I say, my dad was away in college, so I was already tagged as being a kid that didn't fit. And we was having career day, and I remember driving to school and talked to one of my uncles about what I wanted to be growing up. And I looked over at the gas station. At that time, we had full service. And I seen one of the dudes putting gas in the car. I'm like, hey, I want to work at the gas station. He was like, nah, if daddy wouldn't want you to work at the gas station, you got to really think about what you're going to be, you know. So he taking me to school, and I'm really giving some thought of what I'm going to tell my class when I get up there, what my aspiration to be when I grow up. And so we sit in the class, man. And I remember where it was in first grade. I remember it going around, everyone in class talking. I was really anxious until it came to me. And when it came to me, I stood up and I said, hey, you know what? I want to be a professional athlete. You know, either baseball or football is what I want to be when I grow up. And I remember the teacher looking at me really, really sad. And I felt like I'd done something wrong. She had that look like, come on, man. And I thought to myself, I didn't swear. I didn't say nothing out of turn. I said, ma'am, I said all the good things I was taught to say. Why is she looking at me this way? And she said, Tony, do you know 1 out of every 300,000 kids get at that time? That was the number, get a chance to play professional athletics. And I sat there, you know, and I think she could see the hurt on my face, and I think she could see the tears in my eyes. And she was like, Tony, it's okay. You know, you can pick another career. You can be a police officer. There's other things in the community you do. I said, no, ma'am, that's not what bothers me. She said, son, what is it that's bothering me? I said, I'm trying to figure out how you gonna get to the rest of these kids in the country and let them know they can't have my dream because I'm gonna be a professional athlete. And I tell the kids the last helmet I took off my head had a Detroit lion on it. So I said that to say anything's possible, man. If the right seed gets planted and the right people around that seed nourish it and fertilize it and put the right things that come together to make it possible. And what Gary's doing with these kids, taking them around the country and taking them around different programs and seeing different mentors is making those dreams attainable to those kids. Most times these kids see it and they can only reflect on what they see in their communities. And these things are not attainable to them. So they hear it and they go, these things ain't real. I can't really get there. And what Gary's doing is he's taking them around where they're seeing kids that look like them, that are in the same situations that they're in, many of them, and they're making these dreams attainable to them. So I applaud Gary and the work he's doing with these kids because I know how important it was for a kid like me to have someone to believe in me and tell me that I can't reach my dreams. And so I just want to share that short story of how what Gary does resembles who I am and what I've had to go through in life to get to where I'm at today.
Yeah, I think it's very important, as I think we all believe that we express to kids that dreams do come true. You know, there's the positive of dreams and there's some not so positive of dreams, but dreams come true. And I think somebody told me if you shoot for the moon, at least you fall for the stars. So you still was gonna get further than you was gonna get. And I think what Coach Jackson and Coach G, what they do with these kids is you can't speak on it. Like Coach Jackson trains kids that have nothing to do with his school, but he still wants to get them better, even if they play against him. So I think that speaks the high volumes. Coach G, I just seen a kid on your page today, like a little 8th or 9th grade. I think they call him Little Tank. Little Tank then pulled the guard. I don't even know how much he weighed. He's 9 years old. He knocked out the defensive end and the cornerback. So it's what you do is just it's just amazing, man. And that's why we came up with this idea of like, hey, let's talk turf talk, and that Coach Jackson, we give him the credit for that. Let's talk football, highlight these kids like we want to, and open up the platform for people that may not have it. You know what I'm saying? Not the high profile, guys or whatnot. But we want to make sure we show them respect too. But Coach G, can we check in with you today? What's going on down there at Ducks camp?
Man, that young man you're talking about, his name is Marquise. I'm in California. That kid is from Arizona, and he plays on my football team. So that shows you the level of dedication. His dad is Mo. They come way from Arizona just to be a part of this. Like the dad says, this is not recreational, this is an investment. I always tell these kids that you set your goal so high that you have altitude sickness. Yeah. Like we're always on the grind. We just had a game. It was a battle. We won 7-0. A lot of errors, but I always say football is 80% mental, 20% physical. It was our first game. A lot of flags, but hey, we fought and we came out with the victory. Like I always say, winning is not always defined by a scoreboard. We got better. The other team got better too. They did a very, very good job. The AV brother, and they're from the area where it's kind of a lot of the kids are kind of like they got a lot of things going on. But I told them, you believe, you speak it into this life, it's gonna happen. Like the coach just said, and I commend him on that because I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Yes, sir. I definitely want to make sure we check in at Ducks camp out there. We got to check in with Coach Jackson. How's it going down there at the football factory? I know they recently canceled the game against Mater Dei because of some issues or whatnot. But how the kids taking it? Because I know that's like Broncos, Raiders, Michigan, Notre Dame. So how is that? How the boys taking it down there?
Man, it's been cool, man. We just it mainly affected my squad, my D line. So line and the O line is sitting out right now. We have to wait 10 days of quarantine. So I just been sitting out with the boys, and they still been getting their work in, and so like we can't let that one game take us off. So we'll be ready for Cathedral. So we doing good, man.
Yeah, I know the process of all the high school coaches nowadays. Before, back in the day, people sit on it for 24 hours nowadays everything is so fast paced moving. It's like on to the next. I had a couple questions for all the coaches out here. I want to say, what do you think about kids? I want to say it correctly. Like I said, we here to support kids. We love kids, but we know this, we here to talk that talk. What do you think about like kids? Like they now, it seems like kids are playing for offers instead of just playing football. I remember when kids used to try to I'm gonna try to have the most touchdowns, in my team's history or my freshman history. And now it's like these kids had their head down if they're not getting scholarships or whatnot. So I just want to kind of, get the perspective from all the coaches to see if, I feel like these kids are chasing offers instead of trying to actually get better. Because I see some kids, no disrespect to nobody, I see some kids like getting offers to Michigan. And in my head, when I think Michigan, I say, well, could he have tackled Tyrone Wheatley? That's my, I don't know if I'm right or wrong. I'm just thinking that. So I'd like to get your perspective of kids, what's going on, with the process from high school to college now.
I know for my boys too, it's been like that too, because I'm in high school right now too. So it's like that's what these kids are working for now. But I mean, I guess it's a good thing to work towards, you know what I mean? Because you want to go to college, but that's what I just tell them, you just gotta be patient and it's gonna come. I mean, I remember me and Coach Gary, we always talk about the same thing. Just gotta be patient, it's gonna come. And it's cool because two of my guys just got 2 offers, but that's the same thing I've been telling them for a long time. Just be patient, just be patient, just be patient. Continue to grind, and it'll come to you. You know what I mean? You gotta do stuff to where they can't deny you. You know what I mean? So if you performing at your top level, they can't deny you. All these colleges are gonna come. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Coach Crutchfield, what's your thoughts?
Mine may be a little different, all due respect, from a coaching perspective and just from leader and mentoring football teams. From the outside, looking in is very different from you in the body of the beast. And you get these kids that come in and they're more self-motivated than team-oriented.
Right.
And it takes away from what I learned, a core fabric of family. And, what I'm doing today is going to make me a better father and a better husband based on the attributes I learned from the game of football. So I tell all mine that, and like Coach Jackson says, it's important to be patient, and what's meant to be shall be. And I really don't think that's going to be altered by anyone, but stay patient and trust the grind and trust what we're doing as a team. Because the one thing I'll always say to them is game 11, game 12, there aren't a whole lot of teams that are playing because a lot of people have been sent home. If we're still playing game 11, game 12, 13, and 14, you got a good chance of getting looked at by the scouts. So at the end of the day, people can tell you it's about you, but it's truly about this team and about winning. Because the more winning we get, the more notoriety this program is going to get, and then you'll get more opportunities for people to see you. And so, sometimes you get these kids that go to these other programs and I don't take nothing away from anyone's business and the things they do, but it ain't about how much money you can pay someone that determines what scholarship you're going to get. You got to still get out there on the field. You got to earn it. Having been a college football coach, I do know that your job is predicated on you getting kids in there that can play. So it's very important that you recruit the right kid and not just a kid that's someone trying to sell you because they got paid to put a kid on the list. And so you got to fight through all of that monotony many times to get to the core essence of what it takes to be a scholarship kid. You see a lot of fictitious offers out there. You see kids, like you just said, Trey, that you see going to Michigan and got this so-called offer, but it ain't really an offer because they got 400 offers out there to kids like that. So if you get caught up on all that, you'll get lost in that. And I try to tell my kids, you got to stay focused. You got to believe in what we're doing here. You got to believe in these concepts, contrary to what you did on 7-on-7. When we play this scheme, this is how we play, and this is how this team gets better. We got to trust the guy next to us. And so many times you got to get these kids back in there and retool them about what your team and your team concept is. And again, that's one of the reasons why you want to surround yourself with good programs, with good men and with good leaders, because they'll grab those kids right back and get them focused. And so I'm not really big about all the offers. I got probably out of the kids I have in the league right now, they were, I think, highest 3-star. Maybe I had a 4-star. I've coached a couple of 5-stars that, didn't get to the opportunity or the length of playing time that these other kids that were 2-star and 3-stars got going to the National Football League. And so at the end of the day, it's about the hunt that's in that dog that matters and not about the action everybody gets. And so again, I don't like it, but it's a part of time.
Yeah.
It's what we have to deal with. It makes the recruiting process a little more challenging because you got to really know the kid. You got to really know what they stand for. You got to have a good coach that you can believe and trust is telling you the right things and not the things that's going to benefit them financially. So there's a lot of different players involved in the game now when you're dealing with recruiting. But I just try to tell the kids to be patient, man, and don't lose sight of the grind and really respect the process, because at the end of the day, you can only play football for a small amount of time. It's what you learn from the game that you're going to take away from that game that's going to make you a productive member of society. And that's what I learned from football, and I try to give back the same way.
Okay, Coach G, talk to me.
Good to let go of the past and take a chance on the future, but you can only move to the past unless you learn from the.
Yeah.
You can only move to if you learn from the past, and I just feel like it's a lot of followers, especially in the youth market. Yeah. These parents they all about swag, and Coach, I agree with you. This individualism is killing me. It's killing the team environment. And I don't think these people understand, especially with the parents. The coaches look at your character. Right. Make character your masterpiece. Yeah. Once you master that, then you're at peace. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of these people don't understand that character goes a long ways. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Absolutely. And I think a lot of people are they're chasing the swag, but they're not understanding that these coaches look at the overall everything. Because if you're individual, they're not going to invest in you. They're going to just push you to the side. There's so many young men out there, so I think we're losing that. Football is a life learning sport. It teaches you about life. But if we're teaching these kids individualism, what are we really teaching them? Because they're gonna, at some point, they're gonna get left behind. There's so many kids out there with that package. So I think we as mentors and role models, we have to learn and teach them that. We as coaches, we go in here and we belittle other coaches and all that. These kids see that and follow that. I remember, and real quick, I remember at a passing league game, a kid took the football, wrote his name on it, and punted it into the stands. Now, what is that teaching these young men? You know what I mean? Right. Like, we have to look at things like that. Now, of course, it looks good, but what is that really teaching them? I don't even always celebrate like that because I'm building young men. So I think we all collectively have something to say about that. There is a village in Africa where when the baby is born, everybody in the tribe, that's their baby. They all take care of that kid collectively. And I think that's the attitude we all need to have. The old school, back on the street, that kid got in trouble, I whooped his butt. Yeah. Or I took his parent. We got to get back to that. I think we're losing,
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something we need to get back to in our community. I know the times have changed with the kids process. All these high school kids, they're in the weight room, testosterone going, so they all think they're grown. So, we just got to, me being a high school teacher and stuff, you just have to find a different way to talk to them, you guys being coaches and things like that. I mean, I'm enjoying all of it. I wish we had all the time in the world. We got a little over 7 minutes left with the way Zoom operates. We're going to have to find a different platform or something. I want to touch on, CJ Williams. He went from Mater Dei to Notre Dame. He committed to Notre Dame. So I seen that. Then I immediately think of, shout out to Centennial's Jaden Mickey. So is Notre Dame sneaking in the back, grabbing a couple here and there? I'm like, okay, they got a couple ballers. Well, Coach G, start us off. What you think?
You got to put it up, man. Hey, you look what's going on at USC. There's they're bringing in all kind of receivers. I call it the Texas takeover. They're bringing in all kinds of you know what I'm saying? Texas over, but they ready. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If you get ready, you don't have to stay. You know what I'm saying? You stay ready. You have to get ready. And I think that's exactly what they're doing. Preparation is everything. Yeah. So you can never have enough. Hey, boss.
Coach, he on this Texas Tech. And Coach Jackson, you think Notre Dame sneaking in? They sneaking in trying to grab some California love?
Oh man, they've been doing that.
Yeah,
they've been trying to come through the back to get these boys. You know what I mean? It's where the talent is. You know what I mean? So a lot of schools, not just Notre Dame.
I got you. I just like I think CJ Williams and Jaden Mickey. I think they did something with that. They kind of did something with that.
Yeah, they get the dog with Jaden Mickey. I watched that kid from
freshman game. I definitely want to make sure, like, you know, I know you got a couple kids on that D line. So, hey, I want to make sure we shout out to, you know, to due respect to these kids. That's what it's all about, these kids. But I want to make sure Mickey got his definite due, because I watched him since a freshman, since that at the Bosco game, you know, where it didn't look too good. And his daddy and him turned that thing around. So shout out to his dad, shout out to him, and for putting in that work on the offseason. Coach Jackson's, Coach GB, I know y'all had that talk. Coach Crutchfield, what you think about these other college teams, you know, sneaking into California and stealing our stars?
I think it's selfishly, I want everybody to stay here on the West Coast so we can dominate how good California football is. But them other coaches are good. They go out there and do their homework, and they find the right guys that fit in their programs. I want to give a shout out to Mickey, the Mickeys, Jaden and his dad, who've brought my son in, and he's been training with Coach Mickey for about 3 weeks. It was important for me, not about a month now. It was important for me to get my son around the right kids at Centennial to learn what it's like to be a Centennial Husky. Having coached against Logan for a long time, I recruited matched kids. I had a kid named Terry Johnson, Mike Bass, that recruited way back in 2009 when I was at the University of Idaho. So Logan and I have a great relationship. We'd always have one. But I wanted my son to know firsthand what it's like to be a Centennial Husky. When you face those guys, you know what they come to the field with, and you know that they pride themselves on expecting to win because of the hard work they put in. And so working with Mickey, man, just really kind of seeing how that kid works, how important work ethic is to him. You understand why he's been dominant on the field. You know, his dad coaches him hard. We call it tough love. And, you know, I said, hey, you know, I'm going to put my son out there with him right now to see what it's like, to see what that work ethic is going to be like. You know, Taj, is my son, is trained with a lot of the NFL guys that come back and work with me. But the more eyes and the more hands and the more voices, you know, oftentimes they numb us out as parents, and, you know, Uncle Ted can tell them something different, be saying the same thing, but they'll hear it differently. So I put my son in that environment so that he can see it and watch it, man, and watching Mickey play Notre Dame's getting a heck of a football player in that kid. He's cerebral, man. I'm really impressed, you know, with his ability to understand route recognitions, you know, he's getting his reads, knowing and identifying routes. And he's so strong up top. Once he gets his hands on wideouts, man, he gets after them, they struggle. So really impressed, man. Looking forward to watching this season with him and seeing him go off to Notre Dame. But Notre Dame's got a good one coming at him. And, you know, again, they always do their homework and come in and get the right kids out here that fit their program. Not just any kid, but the kids that fit their program. It's a certain type of kid Notre Dame goes after, and I think they got the right two kids for sure.
I like that. And I want people to know, hey, we ain't just highlighting Centennial kids, even though we are Centennial fans. During these upcoming weeks, we're going to have Friday Night Lights, man. We're going to be getting Game of the Week, and we're going to get a hold of some of these players and coaches to come on here and talk that talk with us. I think we covered a pretty good amount of the high school football, so shout out to Friday nights coming in with the next couple of weeks. I think the last time we was here, we got a little bit over 2 minutes, and we can wrap it up. The Lakers had got Russell Westbrook, but now they got Melo and Howard. Are they going back to when they got Malone and the glove and Stockton? And I mean, are we doing too much, Coach G?
And, you know, I would have to say this. I think the question is there still gas in the tank, because you can't go too far on fumes.
Okay.
Right.
You know,
Hey,
so I don't.
Hey, look,
You know what I'm saying? You can't go too far on fumes.
Coach G, we gonna end the show with that right there. Zoom just let me know, hey, we ain't got that much time. But look, if it ain't got enough gas, it ain't nothing but fumes. This is Turf Talk episode 2. Coach Crutchfield, salute to you, brother. Thank you for joining us. We definitely want to have you again. Sorry for the technical difficulty earlier. Coach Jackson, always a pleasure. Enjoy your time off. We know you ain't really taking time off out there getting that work. And Coach, keep them Ducks keep going. We're going to check in with y'all next week, man. Like I said, it's a pleasure for me to hang out with you guys each and every week. Man, it's Turf Talk. Check us out on the YouTube channel. Make sure you tell a friend, tell the players, man, we highlight. Mickey, we shouted you out, man. You better have this going crazy. All right, boss.
All right. God bless, fellas. Thank you.